Celebrate, Jesus, celebrate. Celebrate.
There will be a national election that will take place. And as I was thinking about this time in our country's history and tying it into the area of our faith experience, understanding what the Word of God says. And we are supposed to be faith people. Are we faith people? Amen. We are supposed to be faith people. So I raised a question this morning. Is your faith based on what you can taste, touch, and see or feel? Or do you have the revelation kind of faith? It's going to take revelation faith in order to make proper selection for the national, local election. You've got to believe not by what you see on CNN that the stock market is going down. You can't get tied up because somebody is losing a job. Maybe even your family has been impacted, but revelation faith tells us our hope and our dependence is on God. Are y'all with me? Amen. There are some scriptures that will help us to develop in this area of our faith. And we, as we cast our ballots, I can't tell you who to vote for, but I certainly am responsible to give you information to help you make a wise choice based on biblical principles. The Bible provides a very simple and very clear plan for us as we go to the polls. And we operate in faith believing that the right person will be in office and God will prevail. I encourage you to go vote. I encourage you to look at information that will help you make the right choice. I'm going to take and let you view a 3-minute, I've left a minute off of there, but 3-minute DVD, and then I want to come back and talk to you about revelation faith.
For many years now, I've studied and documented the often forgotten and untold story of our nation's rich religious heritage. Today, I hold in my hands a piece of this rich heritage. These original sermons, more than 2 centuries old and representative of thousands others just like them, are known by historians as election sermons. For well over 300 years, election sermons were commonly communicated from the pulpits of American churches. They encouraged people of faith to raise their voice at election time in support of biblical standards and religious freedoms in our country. Today, the federal government says that churches may not endorse a political candidate, but the good news is this. Despite all the changes, church leaders still have the freedom to address their congregation on biblical values and how they can and should be upheld in our nation's government. And of course, church leaders can encourage people of faith to take part in their most important responsibility as an American citizen, to vote in every election. As these election sermons clearly remind us, in the Scriptures, God ordained the institution of civil government. And it's the Bible that provides us with clear guidance about electing God-fearing leaders of moral character and wise judgment. In fact, it's our duty as Christians to elect such leaders. For Proverbs 29:2 tells us that when the righteous rule, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people groan. Or to put it simply, when people of faith elect God-honoring representatives in government, all of America benefits. As Christians, we must take this to heart and vote in the coming election. Gratefully, in recent years, we've seen slow but steady progress, not only in protecting traditional biblical moral values in public policy, but even in advancing them throughout the culture. But as you know, there are still several key issues at stake. And the leaders we select in this election will affect the future of issues such as traditional marriage, the protection of unborn human life, and the right of public religious expression, just to name a few. For the coming elections, we want to equip you with the information you need to vote with confidence. Online voting guides clearly outline each candidate's position on issues important to people of faith. You can find this information by visiting the web address at the bottom of your screen. I encourage everyone to vote in this election and in every election, whether federal or state or local. Voting, that is being solved in life in the civil arena, is not only your right as an American citizen, but it's your duty as a citizen in God's kingdom. Thank you, and God bless you.
I had the privilege, along with approximately 1,000 other Christian leaders, to be with this historian. What he does, he's a constitutional historian. He studies the Constitution. Therefore, a lot of the opinions that he gives are based on constitutional studies. Most people do not like history or study history or care for history at all. But it's good when you can go and hear someone just explain the history of how America was formed. And it was formed based on faith and biblical principles. Well, just before we go into the message, I want to show you a couple of slides. If you would, give me the first slide. As he's putting up this first slide, if you want some information, it's in the back, you can take it home. The candidates' names that would appear normally over the columns have been deleted intentionally. But it's important for you to understand the information that is in those columns. First of all, the Bible is very clear in regard to marriage. We believe marriage is a man and a woman. We don't believe in gay marriages. Therefore, anyone that would support that and we vote for them,